The officer was teaching the woman how to shoot. She raised the gun and looked through the scope. To her shock, she noticed that one of the Soviet POWs was her fiancé. Her heart skipped a beat, but to avoid suspicion from the Germans, she pretended to remain calm. Wanting to show off in front of her, the lieutenant randomly picked a POW to challenge. The elderly man quickly realized it was his son, who was also the woman's fiancé. The rules were simple: if the man lost, he would be executed on the spot. The lieutenant fired first and hit the target precisely. When it was the man's turn, he was a bit nervous, but he still hit the target with his first shot. The lieutenant hit the target again with his second shot, but the man missed. His father, watching from behind, lowered his head in sadness. Just when it seemed like the son would be executed, one of the other POWs spoke up, challenging the officer to a duel. The officer knew this man was a former comrade and a top sniper in the Soviet army. If he could defeat him, maybe he could win the woman's heart. So, the officer immediately accepted the challenge. He ordered for a more distant target to be placed on the hillside, and shamelessly aimed with a scoped rifle. Of course, he hit the target easily. When it was the comrade's turn, the lieutenant deliberately gave him a regular rifle. But the comrade adjusted the sight, aimed, and instantly shot the target, exploding the bottle. The woman was pleased, as it was clear who was stronger. However, the lieutenant looked displeased. To avoid embarrassment in front of the woman, he ended the competition. The woman took the elderly man and left, promising to figure out a way to rescue her fiancé. She then organized a rescue mission. One day, a soldier pretended to attack the man, slipping him the key to his handcuffs. Then, an explosion went off in the concentration camp. It turned out the woman had sent a group of people to rescue her fiancé, and a firefight broke out. After the gunfight, the man and his comrade ran desperately into the woods. When they reached the suspension bridge, the Germans with hunting dogs were closing in on them. At the critical moment, the woman arrived in a car. The two of them got in, and they were safe. They went to an old castle where the father and son reunited and cried in each other's arms. However, things took an unexpected turn. Although the man had reunited with his father, there were issues in his relationship. The appearance of his comrade made the woman start to notice him. During a date by the river, their glances were full of unspoken emotions, and the man saw everything. But in order to maintain his friendship with the man, the comrade decided to leave.